In this video, we're going to be covering, well, this is going to be the first part of making a functional grenade. Initially, this was planned to be a projectile-based video regarding the shooting the weapon, but the more and more I looked into it and just kind of thought about it, a projectile does not seem like a very good, or very reliable, should I say, method, considering how fast the projectile is actually going to be going. Because due to the speed of the projectile, my fear is the projectile skipping over an actor, for example, or a mesh between frames just because of how fast it's going. So the only way I could think of to really kind of go around that would be to have a sphere component that follows the rotation of the projectile but is very long. So that way it kind of compensates for that, so to speak. But just to avoid all that, we're going to stick with line traces, and eventually we'll get to actually adding some form of bullet drop via the line traces by connecting them. So for now, this video is just going to strictly be making a grenade. So to get started, we're going to make a class derived from pickups because it's going to be an inventory item. Then whenever we go to throw the grenade, we're going to loop through it on the client, well, our inventory on the client, see if we do in fact have a grenade. If we do, we're going to go to the server, perform that exact same check, and throw it. So we can go to our pickups class, right click, create C++ class derived from it. Now we're going to add a tag, well, not a tag, but we're going to move this to public. We're going to go to weapons. So public, then weapons. We're going to store it where we have everything else. I'm going to call it grenade base and create the class. Alrighty, here it is. Now let's just go ahead and set up basic things. I'm going to do the constructor. Going to add a couple different things that I know we will need, such as, well, for one, we need to know the fuse time of the grenade. So we're going to do a U property, float fuse time. We need a sphere component. So class U sphere component. Call it explosion sphere. And I'll show you why we're going this route here in a second. Alright, let's go ahead and set it up real quick. So fuse time equals default. We'll do 5 seconds. Then we need to include the sphere component. And create it. So explosion sphere equals create default subobject of type sphere component. It's going to be explosion sphere component. Now we need to set its initial radius, so explosion sphere, initial sphere, or init sphere radius. We're going to do a 10-foot radius, so we're just going to do 305 for now as its radius, and build. Alright, we have it here. Let's create a blueprint class. BP underscore grenade base. It's taking the blueprint classes and weapons. We're just going to give it a, I don't have a mesh or anything right now, so just so we can visualize it, we're going to give it that. All right, and you can see our sphere here. Does this mess with it? No, it does not. So we can just lower the scale of this object for now. So I'm going to do it by just 0.3, just so it's not massive. Okay, so we have our mesh and we have our overlapping sphere component. So we're going to set up just some basic things, just like for throwing. So public void throw, create its definition. We're doing authority check, so if role, actually I want to start using has authority. I'll try to slowly, for the sake of consistency in this video, so I'm going to just do role equals role authority. In the future, in 4.24, I believe this is starting to get deprecated, so we're going to end up switching to the has authority check instead of, well, doing the comparison ourselves here. That'll be in a future series though. Right, so I know we're going to need a timer for the fuse time. So we're going to call, or we're going to include timer manager.h. We need to create the timer handle. So f timer handle, explosion handle. We need to create a function to explode. So I'm going to make a new protected section, void explode. So again, if role equals role authority. So we're pretty much going to explode on the server. And then from there, we would do other things such as, well, actually, let's see here. No, we're going to go a different route. So I'm going to go ahead and copy over the begin play. Don't forget we need super begin play. Just to confirm, yeah. So where we have our weapon, right, I'm blind. I think I need to go up to interact. Yeah, here it is. So we're going to be pretty much when we throw the grenade, I'm debating on if we want to set the owner and then use the get owner function for when we go to actually, make it explode and such, or what the route that I want to go with this is. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go the route of setting the owner. That's going to end up being the easiest. Oh wait, I just got myself completely confused here. For some reason I was thinking I was going to actually be using spawn actor to spawn and project these. No. Let's see here. Alright, so we're going to pass in class a survival character and end a throw. Here's where we're going to trigger the explosion sphere. we're going to have a replicated Boolean. Do you want it to be an onRep? So void onRep. We're going to make this one explode. So make a new function void toggle or explode grenade. Create that definition. We're going to get rid of explode. Going to move it below begin play. And I think we're just going to remove begin play altogether because my thought process here was not quite great. All right. So if role equals role authority, then we're on the server again. Okay. So this is going to, we're then going to call our onRep from that function. So we're going to do explode grenade b is exploded equals true. We're going to set it to false in the constructor. Then we are going to call the, let's see here, onRep explode. And we're going to do a check if role equals role authority. Else. So pretty much what we're going to be doing on the server here is we're going to be doing the checking for the overlap and see what actors have been hit. Because on the server, we don't need to spawn sound. We don't need to spawn the explosion or anything like that. We just need to do that on the client. So we're going to do damage checking for effects on client, like that. So pretty much, I'm trying to think here. One way we can go about doing this is, let's see. Actually, now we're pretty much set up the way I'm thinking. All right, so we're good there. I'm gonna set this to be replicated using. We need to include the Unreal Network. Actually, we're doing that in pickup, aren't we? Yes, this should already be replicated because I think all this stuff carries over, even though we're creating a new constructor. So we should be good to go there. Create the new replication for the replication properties. Compile. All right, let's make sure it's still actually valid. I'm going to set this to default for now to make it easier just to pick up. And just make sure that everything is still replicated appropriately, which it is, so we're good there. Also, did I see two weapons for some reason? No, right, it's the magazine. Alright, yeah, we're fine. Alright. So I know that all this stuff is being replicated. So when we throw the grenade, we want to start the timer. That timer is going to call the explode grenade function. I'm actually going to bring begin play back like an idiot. So virtual void begin play, and we're overriding it. Forget to include super. And we're going to start the timer in there. We're using explosion handle. There it is. So get world, get timer manager dot set timer, the timer handle. I'm going to refer to this as the class. It's going to be a grenade base, explode grenade. The delay, what I call it, fuse time, and false because we do not want it to continue to run, and we just want it to run and stop. So then we're going to pause it. So explosion handle dot pretty sure I go from there. Oh wait, get world, get timer manager dot pause timer, explosion handle, and that will pause the timer. Then I want to do an authority check. So if roll equals roll authority, only then are we going to actually create the timer, because we only want it to be on the server. Then we're going to unpause the timer. Explosion handle. So after the fuse time variable runs out, so after 5 seconds, once our throw is called, our explode grenade function will be called. And that's going to toggle the replicated boolean as well as fire the onRep event. So I'm going to do a check here. So UE log temp, warning, text, throwing, or explode grenade function. And I'm going to compile. So we are for the most part set up. We're going to need a projectile component. All right, let's see what I forget. 54. All right, it's a reference. Ooh. All right, we are built and good to go. So I think I'm going to stop it here, and we'll actually implement throwing the grenade here in the next video. So I'm going to quickly iterate what we've done in our class. So we've made a class that's derived from a pickups. So that way we can pick it up, store it in inventory, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll actually show you. So inventory, pick it up, just an empty white space. Drop, spawns it, same, normal. I'm actually going to add just a quick icon to it. Whoops. So we can do that. I'm going to set increase amount to 0 and the icon to be, so close enough. Well, that texture, even though that's kind of sucks. But that'll be done in a future video. Make it a little bit cleaner. I want to change the pickup type. I want to add a pickup type as grenade. So display name, grenade. And then I know I need to close this. Control Shift S, Control S, and compile. Then we're going to do another check. If it does not equal key and it does not equal the type of e-grenade. And I did something stupid. E-grenade. Alright, I'm just going to save the compile for after this here in a second. Alright, so the only way we can actually use the item is if it doesn't equal the key and it doesn't equal the grenade. There we go. Let's see what the odds are that it actually updated. I'm probably going to need to restart the editor. Yeah, which I'm going to. So we're just going to restart the editor and set this to grenade, but that'll be done in the next one. So what we've done so far is like I already stated, we have our public function that we're going to call being throw, and then we're going to pass in our own player as, well, the person we're going to throw from, because we're going to create a socket on. Oh, we might just fire this roughly around the headbone area, and we're going to use the camera's rotation, similar to how we do the line trace, to add to be as the direction of the throw. So once throw is called, we're going to make sure we're on the server, which we should be anyways. We're going to unpause the timer that we created on the server. And that timer, after it runs out, after the fuse time runs out, it's going to call our explode grenade function. Now this again is on the server. What it's going to do is going to toggle our replicated boolean from false to true, meaning it has in fact exploded. Then we're going to call our onRep explode function from the server, just because, well, we might as well anyways, because we're going to be doing different checks in there. I might just make a separate function for dedicated for the server to call. But once on explode runs, what we're going to do is on the server portion, we're going to just simply check what's inside the actors inside the sphere radius, loop through them, and do damage accordingly. Because we are using a sphere component, let's say we have an actor underneath. All right, it's a two-story house, and the actor is directly underneath the grenade, but he's still somehow inside that sphere component. Well, what's going to happen is he's still going to take the same normal amount of damage. So what my intentions are is once we find out, okay, it hit this actor is a character, we're going to perform a line trace from the grenade to that actor and see if it hits any other meshes or anything, like anything's in the way that would block the damage from occurring, such as a giant concrete wall or something like that. So that way he doesn't take damage when he was in fact in a safe spot. Now in the client section, this is going to pretty much be the effects, like the sound, as well as whatever little explosion effects are there by default. I'm just going to probably spawn a crappy one, whatever's just here. And that's basically it for our grenade. I'm going to go ahead and just set the maybe of type grenade, compile, save, done. Alright, so that is it for this one, and I will see you in the next video.